recording from Hard Rock live at the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, Hollywood, Florida. Our first bout of the evening brought to you by BYB Extreme and Karma Coin. Scheduled for 5 3-minute rounds of professional bare knuckle boxing in the middleweight division. The 3 judges scoring at ringside: Vicente Rodriguez, Michael Tate, and Richard Green. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the black trunks. He weighed in at 156 pounds. Tonight, making his bare knuckle debut from Hartford, Connecticut, here is Nick Villar. His opponent fighting out of the red corner, wearing black trunks with white trim. He weighed in at 156 pounds. Also making his bare knuckle debut this evening from Huntington, West Virginia, here is Gabriel, the Warrior of God, Freyre. Referee Wayne Spinola with the instructions.
All right, guys, you know the rules. Obey my commands at all times. Protect yourselves at all times. If you want to now, shake up. All right, step back. I'll get you guys started.
Wayne Spinola, our referee. Fight scheduled for 5 3-minute rounds. The Muay Thai practitioner set to make his bare knuckle debut, Nick Villar out of Hartford, Connecticut. Warrior of God, Gabriel Freyre. That man right there in the red. I said gloves. That would be wraps. Wraps.
That's all you got here.
That's it.
And they don't cover the knuckle.
They do not.
Well, they say the Marquis of Queensberry took the bear out of knuckle, and there's barely been a fight. The bare knuckles are back now, and we got lots of fights.
And here we go.
There you go.
Nice jabs there by Freyre. He's trying to maneuver in there. It's interesting because the Trigon, there's not a lot of, big haymaker by Villar attempted.
Man, I got a cold from that shot.
There's not a lot of space, so I guess you can kind of swing for the fences, and he's doing that.
He is indeed, and Villar looked to utilize a body hook right there, and again, he's looking for the body bending.
But look when you watch Villar, what does he do? He steps back. Yep. And that's the thing with Freyre. Everything's going straight forward. So Villar's going to have to adapt to a different plan, and that is to go straight ahead. Don't be going back.
Yeah, it seems like now that initial onslaught that Villar had planned is a little bit calmer, and now the athleticism of Freyre is now starting to come into play with the step backs.
And he is quite the athlete, as Benny talked about.
And you know, Mike, this is why you can't wait in this sport. Look at the blood already. You got that blood, then that's going to be, okay, is the referee going to let it continue? Can they stop the blood? All those kind of things. So you got to bring it right off the bat.
And there's that jab again.
Freyre looks extremely comfortable, switching his stance back and forth. He's got a judo, Greco-Roman wrestling background.
Oh, great reflexes on Freyre. I tell you, we talked about his athleticism, and you know what? You can kind of see it, though, in his maneuverability, his hand-eye coordination, his ability to react to Villar's punches and see them coming and slip and slide. Villar is now much calmer because he realized I just can't just hit this guy. I may have to try to set something up, and I don't know if he's prepared for that. Let's see, because he's not even using a jab right now, and he's going to have to use a jab or something, a feint or something to get Freyre to bite and make a wrong move.
And Muay Thai can be vicious. There's no question about it. But the pace of it is not anything like the pace we're experiencing right here.
Well, you know, in Muay Thai, the view is vast, you know, and it's a long view. This is a very short view. There's not a whole lot of target to go ahead and hit. And the other thing is, look at the conditioning. Villar is breathing out of his nose. Started out that way. Now he's got his mouth wide open. And Paulie, you can explain the danger of a fighter with a mouth open.
Yeah, you get gassed out and you start having your mouth open, but then you get hit with a hook and your mouth is going to stay open. Now you don't have a choice. Your jaw winds up broken. And right now, that jab of Freyre, it's been controlling the fight for him from the start, and it's been setting up everything else. And it's also been protecting him because it has not allowed Freyre not allowed Villar to get into range to land that big haymaker he's looking to throw. So again, that's why I said you know, in boxing they say you can jab with a jab, but you don't hook with a hooker. And big shots.
Looking for the finish right here. Late round 1. Can he get it done?
a jab with a jabber, a hook with a hooker, but Villar is choosing not to jab with the jabber, and it's cost him big time in this round. He's not been able to get anything going.
Great start for Gabriel, Warrior of God Freyre.
See some action from that last round as Freyre had trapped Villar on the ropes. And this was after these counter combination right here. And then Villar kind of ran out of ideas and just started covering up on the ropes. One thing I noticed Freyre in that first round, he looks down at his hands at times after landing some shots. You know, it looks like after that first round, if Villar doesn't make any adjustments here, his only hope is going to have to be to hurt Freyre's hands with his face. Yeah, kind of like Artem Lobov did to me in my fight. You know, you hurt your hands.
Exactly.
You hurt the other guy's hands with your face and your head, and then because he keeps hitting you, and maybe the output stops. Because right now, the only thing Villar has to hope for is Freyre's output to stop, so maybe he can get something going, because he's not able to get anything going. You know, again, nothing, no jabs, no nothing. Let's see right here. Here's where he should be jabbing. Nothing. You see Freyre jab.
Doing a nice job of controlling the Trigon. And Villar just, he can't seem to find the rhythm. He's settled down, as you said, Benny, but the rhythm isn't quite there yet for his attack.
And you know what I like about Freyre is, you know, he probably talked about that jab. The jab is really good, but see, that right hand is ready to come in at any moment, and that's the key. So he's not just extending himself, but then he pivots, and then that right hand is in a perfect spot.
More attempted haymakers by Villar.
Big swing and a miss.
And Mike, you know, the thing is, we say Villar's calmed down, but I think the jab of Freyre is what's calmed him down. You know, I think he's got no choice. He's now a sitting duck, and he's like, I can't hit this guy. And I'm thinking, but you got to think and fight at the same time. You got to be able to chew gum and walk at the same time when you're in there fighting. Right now, Villar is not really thinking in there. If you look at him, he looks confused. He's in there. He's a tough guy. I mean, he's sitting there taking the shots, and he's hanging in there. He doesn't care, but he's going to have to come up with some ideas.
And Mike, you know, you also get the feeling right now too with Freyre. He pretty much realizes, you know, Villar can't hurt him.
Right.
Cannot hurt him. So he's pretty much, you know, walking him down, and that's a key. Walk him down, and then set everything up with that jab.
Gabriel started training in martial arts at age 4. 2 professional MMA fights, half-dozen amateur fights. His debut MMA fight as an amateur was in Stockton, California. I don't think it was against one of the Diaz brothers, but I'm not certain. It might have been one of their teammates.
Everybody in Stockton is tough.
You got that right.
You grow up fighting over there.
Edison High School. I mean,
it's part of your DNA.
Yep. The 209. Round 2, 45 seconds.
Oh, the eye now. The eye, he got an eye jam. He's blinking out of his right eye, is Villar. He's tough, but man, I don't know, guys. How much more can he take of this? He's not made a single adjustment yet. I mean, I made a joke about his only hope is to hurt Freyre's hands with his head, but in reality, you're going to have to take a lot of punishment if Freyre don't break his hands.
But you know, Mike, that's the thing I was talking about. See, as a Muay Thai, he's going back.
Yeah.
That's constantly going back. And he's trying to get some kind of leverage or balance, but it's going back. It's on that back foot. There's no power from that.
You know what? He's less and less sturdy on his legs. He's less and less. If you look at it, you look at him moving around, he's moving around less and less sturdy. Look, and he's more and more confused. Again, like I said, I want to see 2 things from Villar. We're not going to see them at this point. Jab or a feint from the outside. Some feints, some jabs, sets some traps. He's not able to do anything. He doesn't even have the ability. I don't know what his corner's telling him, but he's got to at least look at those 2 simple things and see if he gets a false reaction out of Freyre that he can take advantage of.
Take a deep breath for it. You can beat him with the jab. You're throwing the right hand from outside. And once you throw the jab, come in right behind him. Listen to me, look at me. Right behind him. Right behind him.
Freyre training out of the TKO Boxing Club in Huntington, West Virginia. Great first 2 rounds for Gabriel Freyre. Nick Villar, Gabriel Freyre, round 3.
He looks so composed, so relaxed. You know, you don't usually think of West Virginia to create fighters, right? I mean, at least I don't. But he looks so composed, like he came out, like he was born to fight in there. You know, he's so calm.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, this kid's an athlete. I mean, you've already shown. I mean, Mike talked about his judo. I mean, the guy played rugby. The guy played football. I mean, the competition, that's his arena.
Yeah, and that's one thing people don't realize when it comes to fighting. It's still a sport. Combat is still a sport. So natural DNA of athleticism will help you, and you can see that in Freyre. I mean, he's got a natural athleticism to him, and he uses it very well to his advantage.
Paratrooper in the Army about a decade ago. And the one thing, Paulie and Benny, you were talking about on the back foot. With a Muay Thai fighter, they can be on that back foot and utilize the teep, the front foot, as their jab. So they're kind of accustomed to that. So Nick being on the back foot normally is like, all right, my jab is my teep, which is foot jab in Thai. Can't do that here, obviously.
And he's not accustomed to using his hand, I guess, in doing that either, right?
It's true, yeah. Or they get in tight, elbows. So it certainly is an adjustment.
I saw him try a jab about 20 seconds ago, but there's another attempt. There's an attempt there, but he's trying. I mean, maybe this corner did tell him, he's got to keep trying. He's got to keep sticking it out there. He's got to give Freyre something to think about.
You know what I find fascinating with Bareknuckle, though, and Bob and Paulie, you realize that with Lobo, is that when you go straight with that jab, that guy is right there in front of you.
Yeah, and it's a cutting shot. I mean, it's so it's fast with 8-ounce gloves when I was fighting professionally, but with bare hands, I mean, it lands. Sometimes you don't even see it land. Like, pop, pop. It's such a cutting shot, and Freyre has used it to such perfection.
Looking for that uppercut finish.
Give Villar some credit, man. He's tough.
Tough dude.
I've seen a lot of guys in the Trigon and Bareknuckle in general just go down from a lot less. I mean,
you don't fight professionally in Muay Thai in Thailand and not have some toughness.
Yeah, absolutely. Give this guy credit. I mean, both guys credit for the technique of Freyre. Very impressive to me. And Villar, I don't think a lot of guys would have still been hanging in there.
He's running out of gas, and that's because of the pressure and the offense of Gabriel Freyre.
But, you know, that's a shock to these guys, too, because the corner might have to start stopping us.
First knockdown.
But, you know, that's the thing. The blows are not that concussive, Mike, so it's mainly exhaustion.
And that's a great point. That's a great point, Benny, because that's one thing I noticed with bare-knuckle knockouts. The guys can't throw as hard as in professional boxing or even in MMA, where there's enough padding where you can load up more heavier punches consistently. So a lot of the knockouts are just overwhelming. And it's starting to happen out of Villar finally. But he withstood a lot of this.
He's up.
Hands over your head. Give me your hand. You all right? You want to keep going? Okay. Time.
He's a tough dude.
Yeah, he's a tough man.
You know, we've talked about it. Obviously, boxing gloves, they were designed to protect the hands of the boxer, not the head. So you cut it down a little bit when you went to MMA, so it was less concussive. Now you take those MMA gloves off, and much to both your men's points, it looks bad, it feels bad, it bleeds, but the inner damage is less in the game.
And that's why it's a safer sport. As violent as it sounds, everybody at home, I know they don't want to believe it. People at home refuse to believe. I tell people all the time, I was like, was it harder than boxing? For me, it wasn't even close, actually, as far as the suffering. You actually are suffering in boxing, right? Because you're taking such heavy shots consistently once you start falling behind in a fight. In this, the shots aren't heavy. They can be mentally and psychologically uncomfortable because every shot is giving you a mouse or giving you a cut because it's bone-to-bone action. But the guys can't load up enough, so it becomes psychological. Do you want to stay in here getting cut up and getting all this, your face looking mangled? It's exterior damage, not interior damage.
And also, Mike, it's a rhythm. It's a 1-2. You
Yes.
can't be going 1, 2, 3, 4. You can't flail. You got to be precise. You got to punch through the index finger, the middle finger, transfer that through the weight that you have in your forearm. So you have to be very precise. So it's a calculated brutality.
And Freyre's really displaying that perfectly. I mean, he's picking his shots. He's in, he's out. Maximum 2-punch combinations. I think the doctor should be stopping this fight.
Yeah, absolutely, because he's got nothing.
I mean, credit to Villar for hanging in there. I mean, he's been essentially assaulted tonight, but
It's over. The corner talks to the referee. The decision is made. Gabriel Freyre by TKO at the end of round number 3 in his bare knuckle debut.
you know, guys, I wouldn't mind seeing both of these guys again. To tell you the truth, Villar against a less talented guy is going to give him hell because he'll stay in his face and he'll be throwing hard. He never lost a winning mentality until probably the very, very end. Even when he was losing, he kept trying to win the fight. And obviously, Freyre, I want to see just because I want to see just how good he can be. You know, he's a guy who has a lot more potential.
And my suggestion to Villar is to go fight in a Trigon. Because I think he realized in this one that there was no place to run. There was no place to run, and whatever strategy you may have as far as what you were going to do with your pivot and all that stuff, it went out the door with that jab.
And I think from the first moment of the fight, he came out, shot hard shots right away. I think his initial thought going into the fight was, I'm going to be the aggressor, I'm going to be the boss. Because as soon as the opening bell rang, he threw a big right hand right away, and he was looking to be the boss. And then it sort of got taken out of him, you know? So I think another adjustment he's going to have to understand is, if you want to be the boss, you're going to have to join some technique to that boss mentality. Just because you feel like the boss doesn't mean you're going to be the boss. You're going to have to figure out a game plan in the midst of that as well, because he's got the mental part down. He's tough.
And you know what we did not see? Nick Villar utilized the clinch. And I'm not saying that that's his fault, but he was never able to get in. And good on Gabriel, because he knew he was fighting a Muay Thai guy. And that's where Nick would have had the advantage.
Yeah, he wasn't really able to. I don't think he was able to get close enough to really take advantage of that. And I'll tell you another thing about that inside clinch. Guys all sweaty. It's a lot harder to grab guys. You're not on the ground.
With your fight.
You guys slide right away. I felt like, you know, even when I was in there, not to keep bringing up my experience, it was easy to slide away, you know, or just to wrap you around the arms and that's it, you're done. Yeah. So if he would have got close, it would have been interesting to see if he would have been able to get that over. But credit to Freyre. Credit to Freyre.
Great debut, Bob Alexander, to make it official.
That's cool.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a nice round of applause for both fighters, please. Ladies and gentlemen, from Hard Rock Live at the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, Hollywood, your referee in charge, Wayne Spinola, calls a halt to the bout at 2 minutes, 59 seconds of the third round. Your winner by TKO, Gabriel, the Warrior